Over the past 7 years, out of all of the drones that I have used, which one of them do you think I have the most flight time with? Do you think it's the Mavic Pro? Maybe the Mavic 2 Pro? How about the Avata? Or the Mini 2? Maybe it's the Mavic 3 Pro. Take a guess. It's not the Mini 3 Pro like this video suggests. It's actually the Mavic 3 Pro because that's what I use for my real estate work. So that's where I get the most flight time. But in a very close second is the Mini 3 Pro. I use this drone so much just for recreational use. I fly it just because it's so fun to fly. Now, this was released in May of 2022, so it's almost 2 years old at the making of this video. And when it was released, I think it was the drone that really started a new revolution of policy-friendly drones that had professional level features. You know, the previous versions of the Mini line were a good start, but ultimately they left consumers disappointed. Like the Mini 1 and the Mini 2 were really cool because they were so light, but they just didn't have those professional features. So DJI listened to their customers, and they not only gave them what they wanted, but they added a few bonus capabilities that people didn't even know that they wanted. So after 2 years, is this groundbreaking drone still worth buying today? If you're buying your very first mini drone, should you get this one? Or should you spend just a little bit more and get the Mini 4 Pro? Let's talk about it. So why am I making this video? Well, because I remember the most difficult decision for me as a first-time drone buyer was deciding what was going to give me the best drone for the money that I had at the time. Which one was going to give me the most bang for my buck? And I watched at least 30 different videos before I finally came to a decision and got the Mavic Pro. And I'm so happy that I did. That drone was so much fun. But hopefully this information and my opinions that I'm going to share with you today will help you feel comfortable with your purchasing decision as you seek out your very first drone. So now, why would I recommend the Mini 3 Pro right now, 2 years later? I have 5 primary reasons. There are a lot of reasons, but there's 5 that I want to mention. First of all, the camera system. It has a 1/1.3-inch quad bear sensor that records 4K 60 video at 150 megabits per second and 48 megapixel photos with dual native ISO. That's really, really good. And if it sounds familiar, it should, because it's the same exact camera that's in the Mini 4 Pro 2 years later. It's the same camera system, you guys. A camera so good that they didn't even feel a need to change it. Now, that being said, the Mini 4 Pro does record in D-Log-M, 10-bit D-Log-M, instead of just D-Cinelike like the Mini 3 Pro. So that is a little bit of an advantage, but for most users, D-Cinelike is great. It's really great for people that aren't used to editing, so you can just make a few minor adjustments and it looks good, but even the normal color profile on the Mini 3 Pro is beautiful. Secondly, the Mini 3 Pro has 3-directional obstacle avoidance, forwards, backwards, and downwards. I remember how exciting this was to have backwards obstacle avoidance on a mini drone. I crashed my original Mini 2 2 times when flying backwards, and this really would have saved me, that rear obstacle avoidance. Now, thankfully, because that drone is so light, it didn't do any damage, those 2 crashes. That is one big benefit of these mini drones, that they weigh less. So if you happen to crash them into something or if they fall, there really isn't a whole lot of damage. Now, yes, lateral obstacle avoidance on the Mini 4 Pro provides more security in challenging environments, like if you're flying around a lot of trees or there's a lot of obstacles. But for most normal flying, doing normal aerial videos and photos, 3 directions of obstacle avoidance is plenty, and it works very well on the Mini 3 Pro. Thirdly, focus tracking on the Mini 3 Pro, very, very good. It stays locked onto the subject, even at speeds up to 22 miles per hour. I drove my truck 22 miles per hour and it was able to keep up, and it was able to keep it locked on to my vehicle. And also, it can find the subject if it becomes unlocked, due to obstacles. Like if you walk behind a tree or if your car goes by another couple of cars, it's going to stay locked on to your vehicle. It works so good. So if you plan to do any sort of active tracking with your drone, you will be extremely pleased with the Mini 3 Pro. Fourth, O3 transmission on the Mini 3 Pro is way more stable than most people even need it to be. Now, I know it's a couple of years old. O3 was so great at the time, but O4 is definitely better now. But it's still really, really good. Now, I don't do range tests on my channel. I've watched several other people, however, fly well over 5 kilometers without any trouble at all. I even watched one guy in Mexico. He flew over 10 kilometers. I think he just flew right around 10 kilometers. It just blew my mind. I'm like, wow, that is so cool. No need to do that. For me, this is not of any importance. I'm never ever going to fly my drone that far away. What I want out of the transmission strength on my drones is a stable connection in challenging environments. Is my controller going to stay connected to my drone all of the time? And if it does happen to lose connection for some reason, how fast does it regain that connection? That's what really matters. And the Mini 3 Pro is very good at that. It's not the best you can get, I'll admit it. 04 is really good, but 03 transmission strength is great. Lastly, the noise factor. You know, having a drone that weighs less than 250 grams is very important these days for many reasons. You know, being able to fly without registering your drone is very important to a lot of people, not only for regulatory issues, but also to stay under the radar, so to speak, when you're flying in public places. The disadvantage of most drones this size, these little drones, is the high-pitched noise that they make. The design of the Mini 3 Pro mitigates that issue. This is still one of the quietest drones that you can buy today. And less noise means less attention, and that's very, very important. Now, let's talk about pricing, and this is actually the biggest reason I'm making this video. If you are looking for a sub 250 gram drone as your very first drone, and you don't want to break the wallet, the Mini 3 Pro is the way to go right now. They've had some recent price reductions, and for under $600, you can get the Mini 3 Pro with the RC-N1 controller, the controller that does not have a screen. Of course, you're going to have to use your phone as the screen or get a tablet of some kind, like I'm using the TripleTech 9 Pro because I love how bright it is. But you can just use your phone, so there's no extra expense. If you have a smartphone, you have a screen for your drone. Under $600, you guys, you can buy one of the best drones ever released. And it was released at $759 for this version, so that's a 21% discount. The RC controller version, the one that comes with the screen, you know, on the drone, that's discounted that same amount. So this is $729. When this came out, it was $909. And then one thing that I want to mention, and most people do not know about this and they don't think about this, DJI refurbished drone program. Refurbished products. They don't just have drones refurbished. They have a lot of different products refurbished. And you can buy a refurbished Mini 3 Pro with the RC-N1 controller, you know, this controller right here, not with a tablet, but just the controller and a battery and all the other things, for $479. You guys, that is ridiculously low price. And then the RC version with the screen controller, $585. That's over 35% off, and that comes with a full manufacturer warranty. That's a 1-year warranty, the same that you get with a brand new drone. The refurbished plan it's so good. They go through the drones, they go through, make sure everything's working right. They make sure anything, you know, any problems are fixed. There's a couple of problems, little problems, okay? With a refurbished drone, there might be a cosmetic issue. There might be a scratch on it, or you might see some wear somewhere, something like that. But the internals are perfect. The other problem is when you're buying refurbished from DJI, they sell out very, very quickly. So if you happen to go on the refurbished site on DJI and you see something that you want that's listed and you're on the fence, get off the fence and buy it right away, because most likely you go back tomorrow, it's not going to be there. Once they are posted, people are looking for those every day and they're gone. So I'm going to put links in the video description down below so you can keep coming back, check on that link, or you can just bookmark that link on your computer and just keep checking it every day. If there's something that you're looking for and you don't see it, it might be there the next day. The other minor issue with buying a refurbished product is you have 14 days to check it out, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you can exchange it, but you can only exchange it for another refurbished product. You can exchange a refurbished product for a brand new product. So keep that in mind. It is nice that you get those 2 weeks, but you know, if you want to trade it for something else, it has to be another refurbished product. Now, finally, let's talk about why you might want to spend a little more money and get the Mini 4 Pro instead of the Mini 3 Pro. Lateral obstacle avoidance and 360-degree active track. That is one of the coolest things that they have ever brought to a drone. You just trace on the screen where you want the drone to go when it's tracking. It is so, so cool. But those are the two most significant reasons to spend a little extra money and get the Mini 4 Pro. If you fly in or you use active track in challenging environments, Those two features make it a much better option for you. Also, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the 04 transmission is out of this world stable. It is so good. I don't know how they're ever gonna improve on that. The next step would be like 4G or 5G transmission on a drone, because 04 is so good. And then one more thing, and this isn't really that big of a deal, but if video editing is your thing, 10-bit D-Log M on the Mini 4 Pro gives you a little bit more to work with when you're producing some aerial videos. They're going to look a lot nicer. You're going to be able to color correct and color grade a lot better with that D-Log M rather than D-Cinelike. But for the average user, especially the first-time user, you're not even going to notice the difference. That D-Cinelike is really good. So there's something to be said about buying the latest and the greatest version of a product. But I think for first-time buyers, the Mini 3 Pro is a purchasing decision that no one is going to be disappointed with. Whichever of these two feature-rich mini drones that you choose, you will be so happy. And I cannot wait to see how they continue to evolve these small drones. Like I said, check the video description for links to everything that I talked about today. I'll keep them updated. You know, if things change or prices change or whatever, I'll just make sure that those links are always updated. Consider becoming a channel member. For as little as $1.99 a month, you can help support this channel. You get a little bonus content. I'm actually going to start doing live streams for my members. So anybody who's a channel member, you're going to have access to my live streams. I'm going to try that this year. I'm not a big live streamer, but I want to try to have more communication with you guys. And I think that's one of the best ways to do it. I love watching live streams. I'm not that comfortable doing live streams. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to push through it. I'm going to face my fears, and I'm going to do more live streams. So if you want to see more of those, consider becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up on your way out of the video today if I was able to provide you with any information of value. If you want to watch the most comprehensive review of the Mini 3 Pro on YouTube right now, watch this video right here. It's mine. It's got 1.5 million views on it, so just watch it. It's got everything you need to know about this amazing drone. Thank you so much for watching this entire video today. Have a great day, everyone. And as always, fly safe and fly smart.